There are still places in this world that leave even the most modern minds baffled. Ancient structures of unimaginable scale, mysterious artifacts, and entire civilizations that once thrived brilliantly, only to disappear without a trace. These are not myths or fairy tales. They are real mysteries, documented by archaeologists and historians. From colossal stone blocks that even today's machines struggle to move, to ancient cities now hidden deep beneath the ocean, history still holds secrets that defy explanation. Today, we will journey together into the unsolved mysteries of the ancient world, where history itself sometimes seems to break all the rules. So fasten your seatbelt as we dive into today's story. And a little tip, legend says you'll have incredible luck if you like and subscribe before this video ends. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang. Beneath the rolling green hills of Shaanxi Province, China, lies a place where history and legend converge in ways we have yet to fully understand. This is the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor to unite all of China. For more than 2,000 years, this mausoleum has remained largely intact, protected not only by an army of imposing terracotta warriors, but also by countless stories of hidden treasures, deadly traps, and secrets that remain unrevealed. While the famous terracotta army has been unearthed and celebrated as one of the world's greatest archaeological wonders, the central chamber of the tomb, where China's most powerful emperor rests, remains completely untouched. The tomb complex, located near Xi'an, spans an immense 56 square kilometers. Construction began when Qin Shi Huang was just 13 years old and continued until after his death. Ancient records claim that over 700,000 laborers were mobilized to build this mausoleum, a number far exceeding that of any other structure of its time. Surrounding the tomb are hundreds of burial pits, each filled with clay soldiers, war horses, and chariots. Every statue was crafted with meticulous attention to detail, their faces and armor distinct, as if each figure had truly lived. Historian Sima Qian once described the tomb as a magnificent underground palace, a microcosm of the emperor's entire kingdom. According to ancient chronicles, inside the tomb are flowing rivers of mercury, designed to represent the great rivers of China, intended to run eternally. The ceiling was inlaid with pearls to recreate a starry sky, while treasures, palaces, and even officials were buried to serve the emperor in the afterlife. Automated traps, such as crossbows set to fire at intruders, were installed to protect the tomb's secrets. Legend even claims that many craftsmen who built the tomb were buried alive afterward, ensuring that no one could ever reveal its true entrance. Modern surveys using advanced technology have confirmed that beneath the massive mound lies a mysterious structure. The soil contains unusually high concentrations of mercury, perfectly matching Sima Qian's ancient descriptions. Yet no archaeologist has dared to dig deeper. The main reason is fear. Any attempt to excavate now could permanently destroy what remains inside. When the terracotta army was first uncovered, the vibrant colors of the statues vanished within minutes of exposure to air. Mercury in the soil also poses serious risks to people and the environment. Mishandling it could cause devastation comparable to a massive chemical spill. Preservation technology for fragile materials like silk, ancient paper, or important documents is still not fully prepared for a task of this scale. Beyond scientific concerns, deep spiritual and cultural factors play a role. In China, imperial tombs are sacred. Disturbing them is considered a grave affront to both ancestors and national history. Qin Shi Huang's tomb is especially revered, as he symbolizes unity and absolute power. Even the government is extremely cautious about releasing survey data. Many believe the tomb may contain secrets the world is simply not ready to face. Some bold theories suggest it could hold ancient knowledge beyond our understanding, or even evidence of a lost advanced civilization and forgotten technologies. Millions of visitors marvel at the terracotta army every year. Yet the central burial mound, believed to hold the emperor himself, remains untouched, a silent reminder of a past steeped in mystery and power. The lost tomb of Genghis Khan. Beneath the vast skies and rolling steppes of Mongolia lies a mystery that has persisted for over 8 centuries, one that no one has yet unraveled. This is the lost tomb of Genghis Khan, the man who forged the largest empire in human history. Despite being one of the most renowned conquerors of all time, the final resting place of Genghis Khan has left no trace. How could the burial site of such a legendary emperor vanish without a single clue? And could it truly hold the legendary treasures amassed from across the Mongol Empire? Somewhere among the wild mountains and boundless grasslands of northern Mongolia, the tomb remains beyond the reach of archaeologists, explorers, and treasure hunters alike. Genghis Khan died in 1227, yet his resting place continues to evade discovery, keeping its secrets hidden from the world. Yet to this day, no one has been able to determine exactly where Genghis Khan was buried. Unlike famous tombs such as the terracotta army of Qin Shi Huang or the Egyptian pyramids, his burial site has left not a single trace on the surface. According to legend, he himself demanded absolute secrecy, ensuring that no clues would survive for future generations. Even the secret history of the Mongols, the oldest surviving chronicle of Mongol history, mentions only the year of his death, offering no information about his final resting place. Marco Polo, who lived under the rule of Genghis Khan's grandson, wrote that even the Mongols themselves did not know where the tomb was located. Folktales recount that after Genghis Khan died during a military campaign in northern China, his body was brought back to Mongolia under strict secrecy. To ensure the burial site remained hidden, the escort reportedly killed every person they encountered along the journey. Some legends go further, claiming that 2,000 people who attended the funeral were executed, and those tasked with this grim duty were themselves killed, leaving no one to reveal the truth. It is said that 1,000 horses were driven over the burial ground to erase all traces. Other stories tell of rivers being diverted to flood the tomb or entire forests planted to conceal it. One particularly moving tale recounts a young camel buried alongside the emperor, whose mother supposedly returned for years to mourn at the grave, guiding Genghis Khan's descendants to their ancestors' resting place. Yet, no document has ever revealed the true location. For decades, countless theories have surfaced regarding the final resting place of Genghis Khan. Most researchers believe it lies somewhere near Rohonc Codex, the sacred mountain where he was born and once prayed before uniting the Mongol tribes. Some archaeologists have employed drones and modern imaging technology to search for anomalies, but every excavation effort has been blocked by local residents, who regard the land as holy and refuse to allow it to be disturbed. Even large-scale projects using satellite imagery and crowdsourcing, involving tens of thousands of volunteers, have produced nothing beyond speculative theories. The mystery of Genghis Khan's tomb extends beyond its physical location. It is believed that if ever found, the site could contain vast treasures and priceless artifacts from across his empire, stretching from China to Persia. Some tales warn of guardian spirits, deadly curses, and bizarre accidents befalling those who seek it. Yet for the Mongolian people, the most important factor is respect for their national hero. Genghis Khan was not only a conqueror. He laid the foundation for religious freedom, a postal system, and even paper currency. They believe his wishes must be honored, and any intrusion would be a grave insult to their ancestors. Today, despite modern technology, the Kentiai region remains a remote, nearly inaccessible wilderness, and Genghis Khan's tomb continues to elude humanity. Should it ever be discovered, the find could rival the unearthing of the terracotta army or the rediscovery of lost ancient scrolls. Yet perhaps his resting place will forever remain part of legend, protected by the vast steppes, silent rivers, and the shadows of galloping horses racing endlessly through history. The Giant of Castel. In the winter of 1890, in the small village of Castelnau, anthropologist Georges Vacher de Lauge made a discovery that would shock the world. While excavating a Bronze Age burial mound, he unearthed 3 enormous bone fragments belonging to a human who would have stood over 11 feet tall, far beyond any conventional human standard. Was this evidence of a race of giants that once walked the earth, or merely a strange, improbable mistake? Vacher de Lauge had never anticipated such a find. The fragments included a section of a femur, part of a tibia, and what was believed to be part of an arm bone. Measurements published in the journal La Nature in 1890 revealed bones twice the size of modern human equivalents. The femur measured 14 centimeters across with a circumference of 16 centimeters. The tibia measured 26 centimeters long, and the arm fragment was unusually large. Based on these calculations, Longyou estimated the individual must have stood 3.5 meters tall and weighed several hundred kilograms. He insisted these were unquestionably human bones despite their extraordinary size. The fragments were later sent to the University of Montpellier for expert analysis. Leading zoologists, paleontologists, and anatomists agreed that the bones belonged to a very tall individual, though they also noted the possibility of pathological growth. A few years later, additional reports emerged. Giant skulls and large bone fragments were discovered near Melior, believed to come from people between 10 and 15 feet tall. These remains were sent to the French Academy of Sciences but subsequently vanished, leaving modern science unable to trace them. The mystery deepened as modern scholars began questioning the origins of these bones. In 2022, anthropologist Catherine Hawken proposed they might have been the remains of a giant prehistoric bear. In the 19th century, it was not uncommon for large animal bones to be mistaken for human remains, particularly when anatomical knowledge was limited. But if these were merely animal bones, why did the experts at Montpellier confirm them as human at the time? And why has no modern study ever re-examined these fragments? The story of the Giant of Castel is not just an archaeological puzzle. It opens a doorway to myth and legend. From the Cyclops of ancient Greece to the Nephilim in the Bible, nearly every culture has tales of giants who once walked the earth. In Castel, villagers still speak of a cave that once sheltered a giant, and 19th-century newspapers claimed Longyou's discovery might hold the key to these ancient legends. Some have even speculated that the bones could be remnants of a lost civilization or even extraterrestrial visitors, though no scientific evidence has supported these claims. Of course, the world of archaeology is not free from hoaxes, often motivated by religion or profit. The Cardiff Giant, a stone statue buried to fool the American public in 1869, is a famous example. Yet, the fact that leading experts in Melior examined and verified the Castelnau bones in 1890 makes the hoax theory difficult to accept in this case. Today, the bones that once shocked the world have disappeared from all collections. Their whereabouts remain unknown, and they have never been re-examined with modern technology. The question of the Giant of Castelnau's origin remains unanswered. If such a being truly existed, why has no further evidence ever emerged in a region so rich in archaeological sites? And if it is merely legend, why does the story endure, continuing to challenge humanity's curiosity? The Longyou Caves, hidden deep beneath the lush green rice fields of Liu County, Xiangjiang Province, China, lies one of the greatest archaeological mysteries ever encountered, the Longyou Caves complex. The story of Longyou began entirely by chance in the summer of 1992, when a local farmer drained a large natural pit near his home to expand his land. He had no idea that beneath the still water lay a vast cavern, its walls perfectly flat and covered in evenly carved patterns, as if crafted by modern machinery. The discovery ignited immense curiosity and excitement throughout the village. Locals continued pumping water from nearby pits, and soon an entire underground city of more than 20 interconnected caves revealed itself. What makes Longyou so mysterious is the sheer perfection of its engineering and scale. Each cave rises more than 30 meters high, with walls smoothed and sculpted to a flawless finish. Domed ceilings and pillars align in precise harmony, and every surface is adorned with parallel, wave-like carvings running uninterrupted from ceiling to floor. Strangely, no human remains or artifacts have ever been found. There is nothing to indicate that any community ever lived or labored here. Who built the Longyou Caves? Archaeologists estimate, based on stone erosion and geological factors, that the complex could be over 2,000 years old, dating to the Qin or early Han dynasty. Yet no ancient Chinese chronicle mentions Longyou. How could such a massive undertaking vanish entirely from the historical record? Theories abound. Some suggest the caves served as granaries, wartime shelters, or forgotten royal tombs. A few Western researchers propose that Longyou was a sacred site or secret ceremonial center. Most striking of all, the nearly identical carved patterns across every cave suggest the project was executed under unified direction, with skills far beyond any known ancient civilization. Could this be the legacy of a lost civilization? Or the work of construction techniques now forgotten, beyond the imagination of the modern world. Today, the Longyou Caves remain hidden beneath farmland, a silent testament to the creative power and enduring mysteries of those who came before us. Until deeper secrets are revealed, Longyou serves as a reminder that human history contains countless unwritten pages, unanswered questions, and wonders that continue to captivate explorers. The Baalbek Megaliths. Hidden within the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon, the ancient town of Baalbek stands at the center of one of history's greatest architectural mysteries. Beneath the familiar ruins lie stone blocks so massive that their size and weight challenge both imagination and modern engineering. At the heart of this enigma are three enormous stones known as the trilithon, each nearly 20 meters long, over 4 meters high, and weighing between 750 and 800 tons, roughly the size of a Boeing airliner. These blocks are stacked to form the foundation of the legendary Temple of Jupiter, built by the Romans in the 1st century AD. Yet the sheer scale far surpasses what the Romans were believed capable of. No known Roman crane or lifting device could move stones of this magnitude. Nearby, even larger blocks lie abandoned in an ancient quarry. The stone of the pregnant woman, weighing nearly 1,000 tons. Another at 1,242 tons. And in 2014, archaeologists discovered a block of 1,650 tons, regarded as the largest stone ever known to mankind. Strikingly, these colossal stones remain in the quarry, raising profound questions about the intentions and capabilities of the ancients. Numerous theories attempt to explain the mystery. Some suggest the Romans used wooden rollers and earthen ramps to transport the stones. But Roman cranes could only lift 60 to 100 tons at most, far short of the weights here. Moreover, there is no evidence of a coordinated machine system capable of moving them. Many scholars now believe the Temple of Jupiter's foundation predates the Romans, perhaps belonging to an older, more advanced civilization. They note similarities between Baalbek and other megalithic sites worldwide, such as the Sacsayhuaman fortress in Peru and the Egyptian pyramids. Could ancient humans have possessed technologies far beyond what we know today? Despite decades of research, the mystery of Baalbek's giant stones remains unsolved. No records describe how they were moved. The tools are lost to time. All that remains are the silent stones, defying both history and modern science. The Devil's Bible. Within the archives of Sweden's National Library lies one of the most haunting and enigmatic manuscripts ever crafted. The Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible, regarded as the largest surviving medieval manuscript, it astonishes not only for its colossal size, but also for the dark, chilling legends surrounding it for nearly 800 years. The manuscript weighs nearly 75 kilograms and measures 92 centimeters long, 50 centimeters wide, and 22 centimeters thick. The Codex Gigas is so massive that even a grown adult must use both arms just to move it. Experts estimate that producing its enormous pages would have required hundreds of sheets of calfskin. But size alone does not explain why the manuscript has become legendary. What truly elevates it are the stories of curses and supernatural powers surrounding the book. According to a legend dating back to the 13th century, the manuscript was written by a Benedictine monk in Bohemia, in what is now the Czech Republic. This monk had committed a terrible crime and was sentenced to be walled up alive, a punishment among the most horrifying of the Middle Ages. Desperate and terrified, he pleaded for his life, promising that if granted a single night, he could produce a manuscript containing all human knowledge, from the Bible to the sciences of history, medicine, and magic. Knowing the task was impossible for any mortal, the monk allegedly made a pact with the devil. Satan appeared and helped him complete the manuscript in a single night in exchange for his soul. In gratitude, or perhaps as a tribute to his pact, the monk painted a gigantic portrait of the devil in the center of the book, a demonic image unlike any other biblical manuscript in existence. Of course, this is only legend. Researchers have determined that the Codex Gigas was actually completed in the early 13th century at the Podlace Monastery. Yet what continues to astonish scholars is the flawless consistency of handwriting and style across all 620 pages, as though it were written by a single hand, possibly over many years. Inside the manuscript is not only the entire Latin Bible, but also texts on history, anatomy, magic, astrology, and catalogs of demons and spells. Most striking is the enormous illustration of Satan, with glowing eyes, a red tongue, and razor-sharp claws, placed in the manuscript's center. This chilling image has convinced many that the book is cursed, and that anyone who possesses it is doomed to misfortune. Over the centuries, the Devil's Bible has witnessed countless upheavals. Seized by Swedish forces as a prize during the 30 Years' War, it was transported to Stockholm in 1648, where it remains preserved today. Tales persist that wherever the manuscript appears, disaster follows, disease, war, or even the collapse of dynasties. Today, the Codex Gigas continues to draw scholars, theologians, and mystery seekers from around the world. Until it is fully deciphered, it remains a symbol of obsession, curiosity, and humanity's relentless quest to uncover the secrets we have yet to understand. Göbekli Tepe. Buried beneath the parched soil and stony hills of the Anatolian Plateau in Turkey, Göbekli Tepe lay forgotten until the late 20th century. In 1994, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt struck the earth with his first shovel at the site, unaware that he was about to upend our understanding of human history. What emerged left the world in awe. Hidden underground were massive circles of limestone pillars, each rising up to 6 meters tall and weighing dozens of tons. Even more astonishing was the site's age, over 11,000 years old. This predates the invention of the wheel, the development of agriculture, and even the use of metal. Göbekli Tepe is older than the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge. These T-shaped pillars are not only monumental, but intricately carved with depictions of lions, wild cattle, foxes, snakes, and countless abstract symbols. Each carving tells a silent story, revealing the worldview, beliefs, and imagination of prehistoric communities. The sophistication of this work has left researchers questioning who conceived, designed, and built such a colossal monument. The greatest paradox is that Göbekli Tepe appears to have been constructed by hunter-gatherer societies, long thought too scattered to organize projects of this scale. This discovery has forced scientists to reconsider the relationship between religion, belief, and the rise of complex societies. Even stranger, around 8000 BCE, the ancient builders deliberately buried the temple, as if sealing its secrets forever. This act preserved the site almost perfectly for millennia. Today, as Göbekli Tepe's ancient stones are brought to light, they do more than rewrite our understanding of the past. They raise countless questions. Could human history be far deeper and more complex than we ever imagined? And how many more secrets still slumber beneath the earth, waiting to be discovered? The White Pyramid of China. Hidden beneath centuries of dust in Shaanxi Province, China, the White Pyramid remains one of modern archaeology's greatest enigmas. Its stories are not mere legend, but symbols of humanity's relentless drive to explore and our frustration in the face of unsolved mysteries. In 1945, American pilot James Gossman, during a transport flight over China's northwestern mountains, reported seeing a colossal pyramid in a valley below, its 4 faces gleaming white in an almost unbelievable way. Just 2 years later, in 1947, another pilot, Maurice Sheehan, confirmed Gossman's account and even captured a few blurry black and white photos of the mysterious structure. When these reports reached the West, they caused a sensation among archaeologists and the global media. Yet after the war, China gradually closed its borders to foreign researchers. The area believed to house the White Pyramid came under strict control. Only a handful of local scholars were ever allowed to investigate, and official reports insisted these were simply earthen burial mounds for ancient emperors built between the Qin and Tang dynasties. Chinese authorities claimed that no White Pyramid of extraordinary dimensions, as described by the American pilots, truly existed. Even so, in recent decades, satellite images released by Western and Russian sources have revealed pyramid-like structures scattered throughout Shaanxi. Some rise from 50 to over 100 meters tall, much larger than the pyramids of Egypt. One remarkable detail of the White Pyramid is the legend of its shining white surface. Local traditions claim that the structure was once covered in pure white limestone or clay, reflecting the sun and making it gleam against the gray mountains. Some Western scholars have even compared it to the Great Pyramid of Giza, suggesting that its estimated height of 300 meters and a base perimeter of more than 450 meters would surpass the wonders of Egypt. But who built this immense structure, and for what purpose? Theories are as diverse and mysterious as the monument itself. Some archaeologists believe it was simply a burial mound for Chinese emperors, constructed as a statement of absolute power. Yet mystery seekers argue that the White Pyramid could be a relic of a lost civilization, predating recorded Chinese history. More radical ideas propose it served as a religious center or astronomical observatory, much like the Maya pyramids, with alignments to constellations echoing those of Egypt. Some even speculate about extraterrestrial involvement, a notion as fascinating as it is unproven. All of these theories, however, collide with one immovable fact. No one outside the Chinese archaeological community has ever been allowed full access to study or excavate the pyramids. Many tombs remain untouched, for there is a deep cultural belief that the emperor's slumber must not be disturbed, lest disaster follow. This prohibition only adds to the White Pyramid's mystique, a place where the boundary between reality and legend remains unbroken. Satellite images and covert explorations in recent decades have only increased its allure. The White Pyramid is not just a forgotten wonder. It is a challenge to all who long to uncover the hidden layers of human history. Could it conceal an unwritten chapter of civilization? And will a day ever come when that secret door opens, revealing a monument that once stood majestically on the banks of the Yellow River? The Black Sarcophagus of Alexandria. Among the most sensational archaeological discoveries of the 21st century in Egypt, nothing compares to the frenzy ignited by the Black Sarcophagus unearthed in Alexandria in the summer of 2018. The discovery began at an ordinary construction site on Al-Kharouli Street, a city once celebrated as the cultural, intellectual, and political heart of the ancient Mediterranean. As workers dug foundations for a new building, they unexpectedly uncovered a massive stone block buried deep in the earth. Archaeologists were called immediately. After removing nearly 5 meters of soil and rubble, a rectangular coffin of black granite emerged, 2.7 meters long, 1.5 meters wide, over 1.8 meters tall, and weighing nearly 30 tons. It was larger than almost any other sarcophagus ever found in Alexandria, or anywhere in Egypt. Next to it lay an alabaster bust, its features worn smooth with age, leaving the identity of the tomb's occupant a mystery. Unlike typical royal or noble coffins adorned with hieroglyphs recounting names, titles, or deeds, this sarcophagus was entirely bare, save for a plaster seal eroded by centuries. The anonymity only fueled speculation. Was this the secret grave of an important figure, or someone deliberately erased from history? Rumors and conspiracy theories quickly circulated. Some whispered that it could be the final resting place of Alexander the Great, whose body has been missing for over 2 millennia. Others wondered if the sarcophagus contained a curse, like many of the legendary Egyptian tombs discovered since Carter's unearthing of Tutankhamun's tomb. In July 2018, experts decided to open the sarcophagus, a complex operation requiring modern lifting equipment and strict safety measures to guard against toxic gases and biological hazards. When the lid was finally removed, a foul stench poured out. Inside was not a mummy or treasure, but filthy water that had seeped in over thousands of years, mixing with decomposed remains to form a thick reddish-brown liquid. Bizarre rumors quickly spread. Some even sought permission to drink the sarcophagus water for supposed supernatural powers, forcing Egyptian authorities to issue health warnings. Forensic analysis revealed 3 skeletons stacked atop one another, 2 men and 1 woman. There was no sign of royalty, no gold, no burial treasures. Skull fractures indicated violent deaths, likely from warfare. Carbon dating and analysis of teeth and bones placed the remains around the 4th century BCE, during Alexandria's early TMIC era, when the city was one of the most prosperous in the world. What puzzled scientists most was why such a rare and expensive granite sarcophagus would be used for ordinary individuals, buried without ceremony or inscription. Some suggest they were members of a forgotten noble family, high-ranking soldiers, or officials deliberately erased from history. Others speculate religious taboos may have demanded their anonymity. Transporting the black granite from Aswan, hundreds of miles away, would have required enormous resources, raising further questions about the tomb's purpose. The black sarcophagus is more than an archaeological discovery. It is proof that history buries its strangest tales and forgotten lives, even in the heart of a city once called the Jewel of the East. Egypt still holds countless secrets beneath its ground, waiting for the world to uncover them. The Piri Reis Map. Amid the Mediterranean sea breeze of the 16th century, a remarkable mystery appeared on the parchment of a Turkish cartographer. The Piri Reis Map. This historical artifact is as strange as it is challenging to our understanding of the ancient world. Drawn in 1513 by Admiral Piri Reis, the Piri Reis Map has baffled researchers for centuries. Its notoriety stems not only from the astonishing accuracy of its coastlines but also from details that far surpass the scientific knowledge of the Middle Ages. Only 1/3 of the original map survives today, yet even this fragment continues to challenge scholars from both East and West. The map depicts the western coast of Africa, the eastern coast of South America, and, most remarkably, the northernmost part of Antarctica, a continent not discovered by modern explorers for over 3 centuries. Even stranger, the map shows Antarctica without its ice sheet, as though it had been drawn before the Ice Age. Piri Reis himself claimed to have compiled the map from more than 20 ancient sources, including Greek, Roman, and even some allegedly from Columbus. Yet none of these sources explain the extraordinary precision or the depiction of an ice-free Antarctica. Theories abound. Some researchers suggest Piri Reis inherited knowledge from a lost civilization, perhaps even the fabled Atlantis, possessing surveying techniques centuries ahead of their time. Others believe the map is simply a patchwork of stories, exaggerations, and sailor lore. The truth remains unsolved. The Piri Reis Map is more than a historical artifact. It is a mirror reflecting the limits of human perception. How could a 16th-century Ottoman admiral map the world so accurately when tools and knowledge were so limited? Was there a prehistoric civilization with advanced mapping skills? Or is it merely a coincidence of history? Today, the map rests silently in Istanbul's Topkapi Palace Museum, a silent challenge to future generations. It tells a story not only of courage and exploration but also of curiosity, discovery, and the enduring mysteries humanity has yet to unravel. The vanishing of the Clovis people. The story of the Clovis people began in the 1930s, when archaeologists unearthed distinctive, sophisticated stone spear points near Clovis, New Mexico. These tools, dating back around 13,000 years, revealed a highly advanced hunting culture in North America. The Clovis were masters of stone technology, crafting weapons so advanced that even modern researchers continue to study them. They hunted massive now-extinct animals, mammoths, North American camels, giant deer, and survived the harsh conditions at the close of the Ice Age. Yet within a few centuries, the Clovis culture vanished from the archaeological record, leaving scientists debating the cause. Some suggest drastic climate change, the extinction of their prey, and shifting environments led to their collapse. Others point to cosmic disaster, citing evidence of meteorite impacts, carbon dust, and widespread wildfires at contemporary sites. Did a meteor wipe them out in an instant, or did they simply migrate elsewhere? The origin and fate of the Clovis people are not only an American mystery, they are a story for all of humanity. They serve as a reminder of the fragility of civilizations and their vulnerability to natural upheavals. Today, archaeologists continue to excavate and analyze every fragment, but the Clovis story remains a source of wonder and inspiration. It challenges us to consider the rise and fall of civilizations and the delicate balance required for survival. The Rohonc Codex. Hidden away in a small Hungarian library lies a manuscript that has baffled scholars for nearly 2 centuries. The Rohonc Codex. Discovered in the early 19th century in the town of Rohon, the book contains over 400 time-stained pages filled with a script unlike any known writing system. Thousands of unique symbols appear, none resembling any language or ancient script in recorded history. Adding to the mystery, the codex contains over 80 illustrations depicting daily life, religious rituals, warfare, and figures imbued with religious symbolism. Some images echo Christianity, yet elements of Islam and paganism are also present, complicating any attempt to trace its origin or purpose. Who wrote this book? Why invent such an enigmatic script? And what message, if any, was it meant to convey to future generations? Over the decades, theories have abounded. Some scholars suggest it was a prayer book for a secret sect, or a record of an ancient religious community safeguarding its knowledge. Others question its authenticity, positing it as an elaborate 19th-century hoax designed to confound researchers. Despite extensive efforts from linguists, cryptographers, and historians, using everything from modern linguistic analysis to digital tools, the Rohonc Codex continues to resist interpretation. Its pages remain indecipherable, a challenge that has withstood centuries of human curiosity. In an age where technology has unlocked countless ancient texts, from dead languages to hidden messages in Egyptian pyramids, the Rohonc Codex stands apart, a reminder that some secrets remain untouchable. The Stone Spheres of Costa Rica. Stone Spheres of Costa Rica. Amid the deep green tropical forests and sprawling southern plains of Costa Rica lie hundreds of enigmatic stone spheres, scattered like silent sentinels of a civilization lost to history. Known as the Dequis or the Costa Rican spheres, these objects have confounded archaeologists for nearly a century. The first spheres were uncovered in the 1930s, when laborers clearing land for banana plantations stumbled upon these perfect orbs. Some were no larger than a volleyball, yet others exceeded 2 meters in diameter and weighed up to 16 tons. Carved from granite, their smooth, polished surfaces and near-perfect roundness remain a marvel, even by modern standards. Dating suggests the spheres were created between 600 AD and the 16th century, yet no historical records describe their makers or purpose. Scholars believe they were crafted by the Dequis culture, a vanished society whose presence disappeared long before Spanish explorers arrived. Theories abound. Perhaps they symbolized power or cosmic order, arranged according to celestial constellations. Others suggest they marked territorial boundaries or adorned the homes of elite chiefs. Over time, many spheres were moved, destroyed, or lost in the search for gold, until recent decades when UNESCO and the Costa Rican government recognized their significance. Today, they stand as silent witnesses to human creativity, precision, and the mysteries that endure. How could a society without metal tools, or even the wheel, create such massive, flawless spheres? Were they merely art, or do they carry messages yet to be deciphered? Doggerland, Europe's sunken continent. Imagine, 10,000 years ago, a land stretching from Scotland to the Netherlands, rich with meadows, rivers, and forests, a fertile expanse now swallowed by the North Sea. This was Doggerland, sometimes called the Atlantis of Europe. Its people, hunter-gatherers, hunted mammoths, reindeer, and red deer, fished its lakes, and foraged its fertile marshes. But as the last ice age ended, melting glaciers raised sea levels, gradually flooding Doggerland. Around 8,200 years ago, a tsunami triggered by the Starega submarine landslide submerged much of the land. Some northern regions survived a few more centuries, shielded by hills and forests, but by 5,500 BC, even these high grounds were gone. Doggerland captivates archaeologists and dreamers alike. Was this the lost continent Plato hinted at, or simply a land bridge connecting Europe? Countless artifacts, mammoth tusks, flint tools, even fossilized footprints, have been recovered from the North Sea, each a faint echo of a vanished world. In 2019, a submerged forest hinted at possible settlements preserved beneath the mud. Yet no definitive traces of villages or towns have surfaced. The story of Doggerland is more than archaeology. It is a cautionary tale. Rising seas once erased an entire landscape, a reminder of humanity's vulnerability to nature's power, and an enduring puzzle for those who seek to uncover our prehistoric past. The unfinished Obelisk of Aswan. More than 3,500 years ago, in the fiery red granite quarries beside the Nile, Egyptian stoneworkers began carving a colossal obelisk, intended to surpass any monument ever raised. Yet before completion, a mysterious crack forced abandonment, leaving the massive block to rest where it was hewn. Located 2 kilometers from Aswan, this unfinished obelisk would have stood 41.75 meters tall, twice the height of standard obelisks, and weighed approximately 1,200 tons, equivalent to 200 African elephants. Its smooth faces and precise lines demonstrate extraordinary craftsmanship, and the techniques used reveal much about ancient ingenuity. Workers pounded surfaces with dolerite balls, drilled holes along cutting lines, and inserted dry wooden wedges, then poured water to expand the wood and split the stone along intended paths. This quarry, now believed to have been the birthplace of many famed obelisks, including Cleopatra's Needle in London and blocks used for the Giza pyramids, offers insight into Egypt's monumental ambitions. Yet the obelisk remained incomplete. Records suggest a major crack in the granite forced workers to abandon the project, leaving the massive stone frozen in time, a silent testament to both human skill and the capriciousness of nature. The unfinished obelisk of Aswan. But the story of the Aswan obelisk does not end with a single crack. Some scholars argue it may have simply been a quarrying error or the result of natural flaws in the granite. Yet more audacious theories have emerged over time. Could the obelisk have been damaged during a catastrophic earthquake or a social upheaval during Hatshepsut's reign? Others suggest it may be a relic of a forgotten civilization, its obelisks functioning as celestial antennas aligned with the stars. The obelisk scale only deepens the mystery. Weighing 1,200 tons, it would have been the largest stone ever attempted by the Egyptians. How could they transport it over 200 kilometers to Karnak when Nile boats were incapable of supporting such weight? Records hint at the use of wooden rafts and the summer floods to move the colossal block, but no account specifies the process for this particular monolith. Hatshepsut's ambition may have exceeded the technical limits of her time, yet 3 sides of the obelisk were nearly finished, showing that success was almost within reach. Was the project halted by technical limits, political intrigue, or perhaps even divine warning? The unfinished obelisk stands as a monument to both human audacity and the mysteries that surround it. Kailasa Temple, India. Thousands of years ago, long before machines or cranes, humans carved a monumental wonder from solid rock in India. The Kailasa Temple, hidden within the Ellora cave complex in Maharashtra, is not only a masterpiece of architecture, it is a puzzle that challenges our understanding of ancient capabilities. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt, built from stacked stones, Kailasa Temple was carved entirely from a single basalt rock. Twice the size of the Parthenon in Athens, it stretches over 300 meters in length, spans 175 meters in width, and rises more than 30 meters high. A U-shaped courtyard plunges 50 meters deep around it. Remarkably, the temple was carved from the top down, a counterintuitive method that required the removal of over 400,000 tons of rock using only hammers and chisels. Every inch of Kailasa is adorned with intricate carvings, Shiva, Vishnu, and other deities, and a relief depicting the demon king Ravana lifting Mount Kailasa, a testament to both mythology and artistic genius. Archaeologists have counted more than 30 million Sanskrit characters etched into the stone, most still untranslated. Could these inscriptions conceal knowledge lost to time? Built in the 8th century under King Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, local legend recounts a queen's vow to Shiva for her husband's recovery, and an architect named Kukasa promising to complete the top of the temple within a week by carving from the summit downward. Whether folklore or history, the temple was finished in a staggering 18 years, a feat that seems almost impossible given the tools available. Some researchers speculate that Kailasa may be far older than the 8th century, or even the work of a forgotten advanced civilization. Evidence of precise drilling and nearly straight cuts has led to wild theories, including extraterrestrial involvement. Others argue it was a collaborative masterpiece, built by artisans from multiple dynasties. Yet no quarry or large-scale tools have ever been found nearby. Even centuries later, Kailasa proved nearly indestructible. In the 17th century, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb ordered its demolition, sending 1,000 men over 3 years. They failed, destroying only a few statues. The temple stands as a monument to human ingenuity, or perhaps to something far greater still. The Lost Library of Alexandria. In the heart of the ancient city of Alexandria, founded by Alexander the Great around 330 BC, stood the intellectual jewel of the ancient world, the Library of Alexandria. Built under Ptolemy I and reaching its height under Ptolemy II Philadelphus, it formed part of the Mouseion, the Temple of the Muses, where scholars, poets, and scientists from across the known world gathered. The library reportedly housed between 200,000 and 700,000 scrolls, from Homer and Plato to Aristotle and texts from Persia, Egypt, and India. More than a repository, it was a vibrant hub of knowledge. Euclid developed the foundations of geometry here. Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference with remarkable precision. Archimedes invented devices that would influence generations. Its uniqueness lay not just in its collection, but in its mission. Ptolemaic rulers sent agents worldwide to acquire manuscripts, even copying books from ships docked in Alexandria before returning them. Renowned librarians like Aristarchus of Samothrace organized, translated, and preserved texts with meticulous care. Marble-floored rooms held these treasures, yet today no trace of the building remains. Our knowledge comes only from ancient accounts. The library's destruction is shrouded in controversy. Julius Caesar is often implicated. In 48 BC, during his war with Pompey, he ordered the burning of ships in Alexandria's harbor. The fire reportedly spread to the city, consuming thousands of scrolls. Yet historical records suggest the library survived in some form. Later, in the 4th century AD, the rise of Christianity brought further peril. Emperor Theodosius I issued decrees to destroy pagan temples, including the Serapeum, a daughter library that may have held part of Alexandria's treasure. The Library of Alexandria remains a symbol of humanity's unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and of the fragility of civilization when confronted by war, ideology, and time itself. Its loss continues to haunt scholars and dreamers alike, a reminder of the vast heritage of knowledge that can vanish in a single catastrophe. Some accounts even lay blame at the feet of the Muslim conquest in 642 AD, telling the story of General Amr ibn al as allegedly using the scrolls to fuel the city's baths. Yet this tale appears only in 13th century Islamic texts, leaving modern scholars skeptical. The truth is likely far more gradual. The Library of Alexandria slowly declined over centuries. By the 2nd century BC, the Ptolemaic dynasty weakened, and support for the library dwindled. Wars, political unrest, and Alexandria's diminishing status as a cultural hub all contributed to the gradual disappearance of one of humanity's greatest repositories of knowledge. What did we lose? No one can say for certain. Unique works by Sappho, Euclid, or Aristotle may have vanished forever. Some speculate that scrolls from Babylon, or even from civilizations now lost to history, were housed there. Could the secrets of advanced mathematics, astronomy, or engineering have been buried in the ashes? And if they had survived, would humanity now be centuries ahead of where we are today? The Library of Alexandria remains a haunting symbol of the fragility of human knowledge. Roman dodecahedrons. Since their discovery in 1739 in Aston, England, more than 130 Roman dodecahedrons have surfaced across northwestern Europe, from England and France to Germany, Hungary, and Switzerland. Curiously, none have ever been found in the heart of Rome itself. These objects, usually cast from bronze, feature 12 pentagonal faces, each with a central circular hole ranging from 6 mm to 40 mm. At every corner, a small knob protrudes outward, as if each object were carefully designed for a special purpose. Sizes range from a golf ball to a grapefruit, weights from 35 grams to over a kilogram. The craftsmanship is astonishing, suggesting advanced metallurgical skills well beyond what we might expect for the 2nd to 4th centuries AD. Yet their purpose remains a complete mystery. Some theorize they were religious or ritualistic objects, perhaps used in Gallo-Roman ceremonies, as suggested by finds in tombs and near statues. Others propose they were practical tools, measuring devices for agriculture or surveying, but the lack of standardization undermines this explanation. Not a single Roman text or illustration mentions them, leaving scholars to wonder. Were these ubiquitous objects too mundane to record, or were they secret, known only to a select few? Today, Roman dodecahedrons remain scattered across museums in Europe, silent witnesses to a lost chapter of Roman ingenuity. Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1947, a Bedouin shepherd boy searching for a stray goat near Qumran on the west bank stumbled upon a cave and inadvertently discovered nearly intact clay jars filled with ancient scrolls. Over the following months, archaeologists explored 11 caves, uncovering approximately 981 manuscripts, over 25,000 fragments representing 800 works, dating from the 3rd century BC to the 1st century AD. These scrolls include the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible and other texts, with 40% being biblical manuscripts and the remainder including sectarian writings, apocalyptic works, and historical records. Among the most enigmatic is the Copper Scroll, listing 64 locations of hidden treasures. Scholars generally attribute the scrolls to the Essenes, a Jewish sect living ascetic lives near Qumran, though some argue they were collected from Jerusalem's libraries to protect them during the Roman destruction of the Second Temple. Their survival reveals remarkable fidelity in scriptural preservation, predating the Longyou Codex by a millennium. Yet mysteries persist. Were the scrolls hidden for protection, or were they intended for an inner circle? Do they contain secret teachings lost to mainstream history? Even today, the Dead Sea Scrolls continue to challenge our understanding of religion, culture, and ancient knowledge. The moving stones of Death Valley. In the barren heart of Death Valley, a phenomenon defies simple explanation. On the cracked, dry surface of Racetrack Playa, stones seem to glide across the ground on their own, leaving long trails etched into the mud. No one has ever witnessed their movement, yet the tracks are undeniable. Some rocks leave straight paths, others twist and turn, or even change direction mid-track. Not all move at once. Some remain undisturbed for decades before sliding silently. In 2011, a team led by Richard and James Norris set out to unravel the mystery. GPS trackers were placed on 15 stones, a weather station installed, and time-lapse cameras set across the playa. Scientists expected to wait years for results. But in December 2013, just 2 years later, they witnessed the stones moving. More than 60 rocks sliding across the surface, carving fresh tracks, propelled by thin sheets of ice melting under the sun. A delicate, almost imperceptible mechanism of nature creating one of the planet's most subtle yet astonishing mysteries. Researchers discovered that the mysterious motion of the stones required a precise and rare combination of conditions. Rainwater had to collect into a shallow pool, just 7 to 10 centimeters deep, enough to float the rocks slightly, but never so much as to submerge them. Then, as night fell, temperatures plunged below freezing, forming a delicate sheet of ice only 3 to 6 millimeters thick, what the team dubbed window pane ice. With the morning sun, this fragile ice began to melt, nudging the stones forward. During the winter of 2013 to 2014, one rock traveled 224 meters across the playa. The tracks it left behind could persist for 3 or 4 years, only to be erased eventually by the elements. This explanation dispelled older ideas, hurricane-force winds, slick algae mats, or even the more far-fetched theories invoking Earth's magnetic field, magic, or extraterrestrials. Yet questions linger. Why do only some stones move while others remain still for decades? Can the largest, weighing up to 320 kilograms, glide in the same way? Racetrack Playa remains a subtle but awe-inspiring reminder that nature still holds wonders beyond our full comprehension. The lost labyrinth of Egypt. More than 2,500 years ago, an ancient Greek historian stood before a structure he declared surpassed even Egypt's grandest pyramids. A colossal underground complex, stretching beyond imagination. Its thousands of chambers and corridors adorned with hieroglyphs and murals lay hidden beneath the desert sands. This was the legendary Ha-era Labyrinth, lost to history, dismissed as mere legend, until traces began to resurface in 2008. Located in the Fayum Oasis, about 90 kilometers south of Cairo, the labyrinth is believed to lie near the pyramid of Pharaoh Amenemhat III of Egypt's 12th dynasty. Herodotus, writing in the 5th century BC, claimed to have seen it with his own eyes. 2 levels with nearly 3,000 rooms above and 1,500 below. 12 roofed courtyards linked by twisting corridors, all adorned with exquisitely carved pillars, hieroglyphs, and murals. Other ancient historians, Strabo, Theodorus, Siculus, and Manetho, also wrote of this vast complex, with some claiming to have explored it themselves. To the Egyptians, it may not have been a labyrinth in the Greek sense, but rather a funerary complex protecting royal tombs and sacred crocodiles. Herodotus recounted that even he was denied access to the inner chambers. The labyrinth itself measured 385 meters long by 158 meters wide, surpassing both the Karnak and Luxor temples combined. Yet despite modern rediscovery, the site remains shrouded in secrecy. Following the 2008 excavation near Hawara, Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities ordered the findings unpublished, citing national security concerns. Louis de Cordier of the Madaha Group waited 2 years for permission to go public and, receiving none, eventually shared the discovery online. Since then, no major excavations have occurred, and access remains tightly restricted. Could the labyrinth conceal treasures, lost texts, or secrets of civilizations predating recorded Egyptian history? Or are the tales of Herodotus exaggerated? Some historians argue the labyrinth may have been designed to thwart tomb robbers, protecting the treasures of Amenemhat III and his daughter. Flooding, quarrying, and centuries of natural change could have destroyed or buried much of the structure. Radar scans confirm hidden chambers, yet the labyrinth remains largely unexplored, a tantalizing riddle frozen in time. Thank you for watching until the end of this journey into the world's most enigmatic mysteries. If these stories fascinated you, share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe and turn on notifications to join us on our next expedition into the unknown. The world still hides secrets, and together, we'll uncover them.